Good day everyone, I'm Bayagana Chavez and I will be the last reporter for lesson 2. I will be talking about the Heckscher-Ohlin theory. So before proceeding to the Heckscher-Ohlin theory, let us first know the relation between comparative advantage and the Heckscher-Ohlin theory. So by definition, by David Ricardo's definition, comparative advantage is a country's capability to produce specific goods or manufacture multiple types of goods with limited resources at a lower marginal cost and opportunity cost compared to other countries, while Heckscher-Ohlin theory explains why countries trade goods and services with each other, the emphasis being on the difference of resources between two countries. This definition is stated by Heckscher-Ohlin from the basis of Eli Philip Heckscher's work, which is his teacher. So, Heckscher-Ohlin theory, it states na it explains why countries trade goods, and the reason why countries trade goods is because of the comparative advantage. Each country has different capabilities. That's why they have strengths and they also have weaknesses. That's why they needed to trade with other country. Just for instance, here in the Philippines, we do not have that much of like technology. We are not that abundant when it comes to capital resources that involves technology. That's why we have to trade with other countries to improve and to innovate our technology. Proceeding to the next slide is the Heckscher-Ohlin theory itself. So, Heckscher-Ohlin theory is developed by two Swedish economists, Heckscher-Ohlin from the basis of work by his teacher, Eli Philip Heckscher. So, Eli Philip Heckscher is Mr. Heckscher-Ohlin's teacher, and he based his work from his teacher. So, what is the theory all about? The theory is all about why countries trade goods and services with each other. It explains why ang mga countries kay need sila makig-trade with other countries. It is also known as the resource and trade theory. Trade makes it possible for each country to specialize tungod sa ilahang resources. Ma-specialize sila things nga relate sa resources nga naa sila daghan. Just for instance, if ako na ako'y daghan na saging, mas mo-specialize ko og mga things or mga foods nga na-relate siya sa saging. Like banana cue or mga banana cake. More on like, ang ako ang ma-specialize kay mga banana na recipe. And then, countries are more efficient in producing goods for which they have a relatively abundant source. Because how can you produce goods nga kanang nagkuwang-kuwang ang imuhang resources ana? That's also the reason why makig-trade ang Philippines sa other countries, because we have different kanang specialty or mga spices or mga resources sa ato ang country, because lahi man tawag geographic nga kibutangan. Like for instance, here in the Philippines, we are more abundant when it comes to crops, but we are not so abundant when it comes to mga high technology like sa Japan. That's why mana siya. So also a trivia is that Mr. Ohlin was awarded the Nobel Prize for Economics for his work on the Heckscher-Ohlin theory. So stated also here is that the Heckscher-Ohlin theory is also based on a country's production factors, which are the land, labor, and capital, which provides funds for investments in plants and equipment. So proceeding to the next slide is what is the law of supply and demand relative to the factors of production. Factors that were in great supply relative to demand would be cheaper. Factors in great demand relative to supply would be more expensive. So why is this? Why is this mana? Factors in great relative to supply. Why is this mana? Factors that were in great supply relative to demand would be cheaper. It is because since daghan man kag supply ana, mubarato na lang especially tungod sa market kay daghan mag-supply, daghan kag competitors. So if daghan kag competitors, of course, you will lessen the price. Kay para mas daghan og mopalit sa imuha. Since daghan man pud kag supply sa resources, kanang mas makaingon pud ka nga okay ra siya nga barato na lang sa imuha na part because kay wala man kayo kay, and especially if kanang daghan kag competitors like I said. So the next one is the factors in great demand relative to supply would be more expensive. Since in demand man ang supply or ang mga raw materials or ang resources, lisod pangitaon ang mga raw materials. Syempre, if maglisod kag pangita sa raw materials kay kanang mamahal jud siya because kanang mamahal siya kay of course the effort in finding that supply and kanang if lisod na pangitaon siya na supply kay mahal jud na siya when obtaining that kind of raw materials. And mahal na siya and gamay ra nag competitors kay lisod man di pangita ang iyahang mga raw materials. So if gamay ra siya competitors kay it is better na ikaw nga producer kay imuhang mahalon ang amount or ang price ana niya nga product. So with the HO model, all markets are everywhere interconnected. Some will gain from trade, some will lose, but most of the time positive outcome ra siya. So what is the effects of the Heckscher-Ohlin theory on international trade? So unsa man jud ang effects ni Heckscher-Ohlin theory on international trade? International trade can improve economic efficiency, but that trade will also cause a redistribution of income between different factors of production. So, maka-improve siya sa economic efficiency ang international trade because kay you will gain from different countries and they will also gain from you. Then, countries like also, as I've said na, all markets are everywhere interconnected. So, if naa kay kailangan sa imuhang country, pwede ka mo reach out sa other country to trade with them and makaget na ka na nga products. Then, countries with cheap labor would specialize in labor-intensive industries. Example, here in the Philippines, kanang kabantay mo ang atuang sweldo kay gagmay ra siya because daghan man og laborers sa atuang nga country. Mao na siya ang one of the inputs nga kanang need i-consider. So, since daghan man og laborers here in the Philippines, so mo specialize jud ta og mga labor-intensive industries, which means na mo lesser na lang ang atuang sweldo or mo gamay na lang ang atuang sweldo. Then next kay large pool of capitals will specialize in capital-intensive industries. Ang meaning sa capital is that kanang mga materials or mga manufacturing factory or mga factories. So if daghan mo og factory sa inyong country, of course kanang mas mo barato na lang ang inyong mga products na ma-produce from that factory. Like for example, in Japan, if daghan og factory sa Japan sa pag-make og cars, then mas need nila og para maintain sa ilang factory. Not so many people, maong dagko pod sila og sweldo dito compared here sa Philippines. Because kanang dili man kaayo need nila og laborers. Instead, they need more kanang mga capital intensive industries. So, ang effects ni HO on international trade kay maka-cause siya og redistribution of income between different factors of production kay kanang naa naman po'y imports and kanang with if na po imports, na po kay exports, and if maka-exports ka, you will gain more income from other countries. And with that, kanang naa kay additional sa income sa imuhang country and kanang mausab na ang imuhang flow of economy. So that would be all for my report. Thank you.